Welcome to Football with Cheese. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. This video is going to be about college football playoff, and I'm going to preview Ohio State Notre Dame. Game is Monday. We're going to go ahead and do it today because we're going to focus on NFL over the weekend. Before we get started, I was looking at analytics last night, and by far the most viewed video is the Rooney Rule because it's the most controversial video. Controversy sells, I guess. If you have not seen that video, I will link it in the description. I don't think they should have a Rooney Rule. I don't think it works. And analytics also showed only about 20 to 25% of you that watch the videos are subscribed. So make sure you subscribe. It's free. I'm not going to charge you. It's free to like the video as well. It's free to turn on notification bell. I'm just such a swell guy. I'm not going to charge you. So make sure you do that. Quickly, Ohio State, they scored 21 offensive points against Texas. They scored over 40 against Tennessee and Oregon. And Texas held them to 21 offensive points. They did get an offensive touchdown. It was a 14-14 game going into the fourth quarter. And that's how you have to play Ohio State. You have to keep it low scoring. They have an incredible offense. If you let them go off for 40, you're going to get killed. And that's what Texas did, but Texas made that huge mistake. They were down 21-14, had goal to go, lost yardage, then the strip sack. Texas should have put in Arch Manning in the goal line. He's bigger, he's more athletic. He could have just snuck it in. You're on the 1 yard line. After losing 6 yards, and then the strip sack returned for touchdown by Jack Sawyer, the outstanding defensive end for Ohio State, made it 28-14. That was the final. Ohio State has a great defensive line. The other edge rusher, not even try to say his name, they both could go in the first round of the draft. Tyleik Williams, their defensive tackle, will go in the first round of the draft. On their offensive line, they lost Josh Simmons for the season, their left tackle, their outstanding left tackle. And so they moved Donovan Jackson, their guard, over to tackle. And that's probably only helped his draft stock. Versatility is value when it comes to NFL draft. But that's a matchup to watch because he is a natural guard. And Notre Dame, the way they beat people is they get pressure on you and force you into mistakes. Their defense is very good at that. That's how they've been winning all year. I've said it in my other videos. That's how they beat Penn State. It was a tie game late. They forced an interception over the middle of the field. Horrible decision by Penn State quarterback Drew Aller. And then they got the game-winning field goal. Great second half for Notre Dame. 24 points scored. Riley Leonard made plays. Jaden Greathouse, their wide receiver, awesome name. He made some huge plays. That's how they're going to have to beat Ohio State. If they're going to win, they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to keep it low scoring and force Ohio State quarterback Will Howard into mistakes. That's the only way they're going to win. Notre Dame has a shot. This isn't the Notre Dame-Alabama game from like a decade ago, over a decade ago, where they just got destroyed by Alabama. They have a shot in this game. Ohio State is favored by 8. They have maybe the best receiving combo in the league. Emeka Egbuka, hope I said that right. Carnell Tate, and of course Jeremiah Smith, who's one of the best receivers in the country. That group is incredible. Very, very tough to stop. And Notre Dame is missing Benjamin Morrison, their star corner. He's out for the season with an injury. It hasn't hurt him yet. It could very well hurt him in this game. I'm going to take Ohio State minus 8. Before I saw the spread, my thinking was Ohio State's going to win by 10 or 14. So I'm going to stick with that. Ohio State, they're just too loaded. They have the most pro prospects of any team in the country. The NFL draft is going to have so many Ohio State players. I just think they're better. Notre Dame does have a shot, but I think Ohio State takes this by 2 scores. They won't blow them out, but I think they'll win comfortably. Okay. The college football playoff, if you did not know, was 4 teams for many years until this year, and they went from 4 to 12. When it was 2 teams, people complained that finished 3rd or 4th. And what happened some years is teams from the SEC and Big Ten would get it, and teams with 1 loss or undefeated from maybe the Pac-12 or the ACC would complain that they didn't get in. They didn't get a chance. So they moved it to 4. I think 4 worked. I think it was fine. I would have gone to 6 and tried 6 and not gone from 4 to 12. It's so drastic, and it created a lot of problems. The top 4 seeds, they get a bye, so that's good. But they have 3-week layoff. One team had a 24-day layoff. And when you have that long layoff, you come out flat. It's hard to simulate tackling in practice. You came out flat. All 4 teams lost. Oregon and Georgia came out flat. They were terrible and got behind. So the advantage is being a 5, 6, 7, 8 seed because you get a home game first round, first of all. You play the 9, 10, 11, 12 seeds. So worse seeds. And then you don't have that 3-week layoff. So the next round you play a neutral game. They should at least give the top 4 seeds a home game, because you already make them sit out 3 weeks. Then you get a neutral site game, and guess what? The 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds all won. If they had the same rules as last year, they wouldn't have even made the playoff. So it's advantageous to be the 5, 6, 7, or 8 seed. And 1 through 4 seed, it's not great, actually. SMU shouldn't have been in. ACC should not have gotten 2 schools. You know, it's a flawed system. And, there's more. There's more. They don't reseed either. If there had been an upset, there wasn't. But if a 11 or 12 seed had won, they should have had to play number 1 Oregon. There wasn't an upset. But they should reseed. The NFL reseeds in the playoffs. They should absolutely reseed. It shouldn't just be a bracket. That's another problem. The difference between the 8th and 9th seed is huge. That's another problem. Tennessee had to go on the road at Ohio State because they were the 9th seed. If they were the 8th seed, then they would have gotten a home game. And the games don't mean as much. So the Georgia-Tennessee game didn't matter. Matters for their fans, but didn't matter because they both made the playoff. Penn State-Ohio State game didn't matter. Both made the playoff. So these rivalry games don't matter as much if you both still make the playoff. Those games turned out to not mean anything. Both Texas-Georgia games, Georgia beat them twice. They didn't matter because both teams made the playoffs. And if you're Notre Dame and you lose to Northern Illinois, it doesn't matter. That was a horrible loss. Probably the biggest upset of the college football season, but it doesn't matter because they won the rest of their games. But what I would have done 6. I would not have had a 3-week layoff. I would have had 6 teams. The top 2 get a bye, so that would have been Oregon and Georgia. And the other teams, the 3 versus 6, the 4 versus 5, would have played the next week. You could have had Army-Navy at like 1 o'clock, and then at 4:30 had the 3 versus the 6 game, and then at like 8 o'clock you could have had the 4 versus the 5. Play the next week, and then the next week after that, then you play the quarterfinals. That way they only have 2 weeks off. Oregon and Georgia would have had just 2 weeks off instead of 3. And then play the final on New Year's Day. Why are we playing the final on January 20th? That's insane. That's what I would have done. And I will make one more point. The top 4 seeds should not all be conference winners. It should be the 4 best teams. All conferences are not equal. The SEC and Big Ten are hands down way better than the ACC or the Big 12. Boise State is a non-Power 5 conference. Well, I guess it's Power 4 now. Power 4 because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore. Let Boise State make it. Let Arizona State make it. Let Clemson make it for winning them. But make them, based on the strength of their conference, make them the 10, 11, 12 seed because their conferences are just not nearly as strong. If those teams had been in the SEC or the Big Ten, they would not have even made the playoff. They would not even been in the discussion. Teams, I'm not saying these teams should have been in necessarily. I know a lot of people are happy Alabama didn't make it, but Alabama and Ole Miss are better than SMU. They're better than Boise State. They're better than Clemson. They are. They have better teams. So that's all the problems with it. The 7 and 8 seeds are in the final. If they had done 6 like I think they should have, then these teams wouldn't even be in it. So it's just crazy, the 7 versus the 8 seeds. Ohio State's way better than their seed, though. We know that. The loss to Michigan is why they're the 8 seed. To recap, I think Ohio State's going to win and cover the 8. All right, tomorrow We're going to preview the Saturday NFL games, and Saturday we'll preview the Sunday games, so look out for that. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, share this video out there. Anyone that loves football, college, NFL, NFL draft, so we can grow the channel. Follow me on X at FootballCheese. And this is going to be a weird Thursday night. I have not had a Thursday night where there wasn't a football game on since August. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Have an amazing day.